What's up, guys and gals? My name is Danny, and welcome to the first comic book review on this channel. This is actually something I've wanted to do for a long while, and I thought now was a better time than ever because, you know, I felt like it. Anyway, the comic we'll be reviewing today is Groot #1, which came out a couple weeks ago. Not a couple weeks ago, a couple months ago, actually. By the way, I will be doing reviews a couple weeks after the comic comes out. Unfortunately for this one, it was a couple months. To allow others to read it first, and that means I can put spoilers in the review, and most people will actually have read it and know about it. And plus, if you just don't care and want to know what's going on with the character and the comic, you can just listen in. Yeah. So Groot #1 comes from Marvel Comics, obviously, and it's brand new. Groot's first solo appearance. By himself, well, kind of by himself. He has Rocket. Obviously, this started because of the popular success of Guardians of the Galaxy. Rocket got his own, Star-Lord got his own. Drax and Gamora usually aren't as big as the top three, you know, but that's fine with me. I love Groot. It was written by Jeff Loveness. Artist is Brian Kessinger, and it was lettered by Jeff Eckelberry. Groot himself was created by Stan Lee, Larry Lieber, and Jack Kirby. Because this is #1, I thought I'd give a synopsis about what's going on in the story arc. That would be that Groot convinced his good friend Rocket to go on an intergalactic road trip, and in the process, they get off to a rocky start. Oh, those two wacky tree and animal things. Oh, God. A couple things about this comic is that Jeff Loveness has a lot of difficulties writing about a space tree who can only say, "I am Groot," as well as living up to the hype and love that that comes from an incredibly popular character like Groot. Obviously, he is one of the favorites from Guardians of the Galaxy, so being able to write him well it's a pretty high standard to live up to. That being said, let's hop into the art. Brian Kessinger gives us a very cartoony look of art, more easily seen on Rocket, as you can see. The thing about this, any Marvel Comics, is that it tries to do realism, try to make it look realistic. Not any Marvel Comics, but most of them. And this one, they just chose not to. They chose to go with more cartoony look, and it suits the comic because Groot and Rocket in this comic are more fun. It's not going to be your action-packed, here's the bad guy, here's the good guys, watch them fight. It's more of an adventure they go on, and Kessinger really shows that very well through his art. One thing I do really like about his art is that you can see on the characters' faces very well how they're feeling. You can see whether they're sad, scared, happy, upset, but he really makes sure that's defined in their facial features. And it really shows the tension in the panel. Not only are all the characters extremely well drawn, but the backgrounds are very detailed and colorful. You can see how he just turns the blackness of space into this colorful, pretty planets and space sharks, and it just really all blends together immensely well. He did a fantastic job with it. And it really shows that there's no wonder why the dynamic duo wanted to go on a road trip. I mean, just look at that beautiful art. Loveness shows off the personalities perfectly. You can see Groot's clueless bliss and Rocket's constant annoyed anger, which we've grown to love from them, and that gives them their well-known quirks. Groot's comic isn't as much action as it is a buddy film between Rocket and Groot, as I said before. We do see them fight space sharks momentarily, but it mostly revolves around the antics they get into while trying to do this road trip, and the people they meet, of course. An example of that is that Marvel fans will know of the shape-shifting Skrulls who have tried to take over several times. Biggest attempt was in the Secret Invasion storyline. Go check that out; it's fantastic. And the two decided to hitchhike up with them, and they think they're casual humans, but then thanks to Groot's fantastic detective skills, they find out that they're actually Skrulls, and the Skrulls get found out, and they're like, "Ah, crap, we're doomed." After that, they use a couple other forms of transportation, including, a certain Superman's escape off a doomed planet. They also cause a divorce, actually, which is kind of deep and sad because their planet's about to be blown up. But after a bunch of fun adventures, the comic reaches its climax when when a bounty hunter finds them, and this is another example of where Loveness shows why Groot is so lovable. No pun intended. He goes all full and protective to save Rocket, even against all the odds, even against all those guns against him. He still tries so hard to save Rocket, and including Rocket saving Groot, which shows it's not a one-way street. And it also gives him a point here. It slightly introduces the main bad guy for the story arc. Bad guy or girl, you never know. It's kind of sexist if you say one thing, it turns out to be the other. But yeah, the comic actually ends with a sad note there, with the heroes can't always win, which you don't really see too much. You see Spider-Man, he's always beating Green Goblin. You see the Avengers always beating Thanos. But this is an example where it doesn't happen. And that's actually a good thing, because it sets up a good story arc around Groot, and not just Groot and Rocket. It allows Groot to be on his own, and it revolves around him somehow getting the help for Rocket. He somehow has to tell people that he needs help for Rocket, and well, we better hope that his new friends understand Grootinese. Get it? However, that's it for this comic. Groot #1 is a fantastic issue that brings the love and suspense and drama that you find with Groot and Rocket, as well as being able to introduce a division where Groot has to be on his own instead of with Rocket always. Thank you for joining me for this comic book review. If you did enjoy it, I'd really appreciate a like for the first episode. And if you have any ideas on how to improve, leave it in the comments. I will gladly look over those. Also in the comments, which heroes or comics would you like to see me cover? There's a ton out now. I definitely recommend you go just list your favorite hero right now. It'll be more difficult because Marvel's going through a big Secret War phase for the next couple months, but once that's over, everything will be back to normal. I can't talk. Let me know anything in the comments. I'll read them. And hope you guys have a great day. I would give this comic, Groot #1, a 8.5 out of 10 for the sole reason of some stuff that would degrade a comic score. It's fine because it's a #1. And there's a lot of problems going against Groot that are extremely well handled by Loveness. And yeah, that results in an 8.5 on my book. Yeah, so I'll talk to you all later. Have a great day. And tip your local waiter. I don't know.